welcome to 5 and the 5 app for our coverage of Table 2 on this, the final day of last 16 action in the Players' Championship. It is England against China. Shaun Murphy up against Zhang Anda. Zhang won the toss and elected to put Murphy in to break. I think that's the modern way now, because players so often break off, leave a red from distance, and the other guy knocks it in. Of course, as the afternoon progresses, we'll keep you right up to date with the other table, where Zhou Yulong takes on Judd Trump.
Thank you.
It's a race to 6, best of 11 frames.
Shaun Murphy.
Many moons ago, Shaun Murphy was getting to an awful lot of quarterfinals and semi-finals, but not quite lifting trophies. He said back then, never forget this, I hate the word consistency. I want to be a winner. Well, this season he has been a winner, and he's been a finalist on more than one occasion. But consistency hasn't been there. He's also put in a number of low-key performances and suffered a few early exits. So we'll see which version of the magician turns up today. And there's what I was saying. You see Zhang getting Murphy to break off and then immediately knocking one in. And I was just mentioning consistency, or lack of, when I was talking about Shaun Murphy, and that really does apply to Zhang Anda. Don't think there's a player on tour who has a bigger difference between his best and his worst. Really struggles on occasions, but on others, he looks an absolute world beater. You never fancy him to miss a ball. So again, which version of Zhang will turn up?
No. Set.
The man calling out the scores, Kevin Dabrowski, the referee.
$70. See.
There's the man in the middle, as they say, from Poland.
$20. $26.
Much like the winner on this table yesterday afternoon, Mark Allen. Zhang's greatest asset is cue ball control. You never describe him as a power merchant. But when it comes to placing the white where he wants it, few are better. that didn't seem the best of contacts, actually.
30.
Made that telltale sound. Be interested to see if he has the cue ball cleaned. Wanted to follow through with the white a little more to give himself a wider angle.
$41. $42.
24 hours ago, one of the keys to Mark Allen defeating Baize, he potted a number of really good recovery balls. Zhang will need one here. The pink to middle is the easier option. Much tougher the pink to the green back, but that would be a better choice positionally in terms of getting the cue ball near the reds. So in an attempt to try and hold the cue ball as best he could, he caught that pink just a little too thick. I also noticed there that the pink just fractionally seemed to go towards that left-hand jaw in the middle pocket.
One.
Shaun Murphy, what a cueman, what a player. At his best, simply unstoppable.
Ah. Green ball.
When he won this championship at nearby Wolverhampton in 2023. He seemed invincible to me. As he just nudged the pink into an unpottable position. Will it just sneak in? Does have the blue as an alternative, but that means taking the cue ball in and out of balk. And here's a real indication of just how tight these middle pockets are. The pink is so close to the pocket, and yet Murphy just doesn't fancy it. The angle is so acute.
Eight C.
Murphy will be exasperated to hit the green there because one good positional shot and he would have been banging. Favourite to win the frame, as he is favourite to win this match. In general, he's around 1-2 before a ball was struck. Zhang Anda, the 13-8 outsider.
Shaun Murphy, 80.
Well, a few moments ago, Murphy was annoyed to hit the green in a different context. So was Zhang. One piece of trademark cueing from Murphy and he could be right in with a golden second chance. Well, there's been a theme so far in this frame. On 3 occasions, Murphy is overscrewed. Twice in potting a ball, there in missing one. This is being really pernickety. He caught that just a shade too thick. Did Zhang Anda. And it's recommended not to leave Murphy from distance with his hand on the table. Zhang was lucky with his previous safety shot that those 2 reds close to the left-hand side cushion and the left-hand middle pocket went against each other, so that makes Murphy's life a lot more difficult. They will need disturbing.
Six.
It's clear from where the cue ball is, clear from Murphy's expression, that he's not got to grips with the table yet. There is a running debate in snooker. Who is the best player when using the rest? And many people say it's the player at the table, Shaun Murphy. He is brilliant, no doubt about it. But that was a really, really surprising mistake.
Shaun Murphy, Baize.
Quite a typical first frame where both players still bedding in.
One.
Not bad. Got the contact he desired, but not the end result. The red that's closest to the cue ball is too close to the white, surely. Ooh. Kevin Dabrowski getting into position to see whether that would be a push shot, and you have to think there's a good chance. So jacking the cue up, wants to play it but realises there's too much jeopardy.
Zhang Anda, 8.
It was a good try, but Zhang has been really fortunate the red didn't bounce more. Every chance with these two, this would be the least attractive frame of the match, but it still counts for a lot. Psychologically very important. Can't get through to the
Three.
potting angle on this red, but what he can do is stun the cue ball in behind the green and lay a very awkward snooker. I thought for a moment there was going to be a gap. Because the cue ball poked its nose out. Can Zhang just get through to an edge? That's the wonderful thing about snooker. Thousands of frames played each season on the Pro Tour, all very different. Murphy has got the cover, it seems. That was always asking for trouble. And so the table, good for Murphy with the exception of the pink, which proved annoying earlier. Well, this time Murphy's turned to be a little fortunate. He badly overcut that red, and it's come away from the pocket. Now, this might be clippable, but it has to be struck absolutely on the nose. Absolutely perfectly. One of them will win it, or more to the point, one of them will lose it.
One.
Now that was a Murphy special. Will that get the file lit?
Rainbow.
Now that just shows two things. One, the quality of Murphy's cueing. The other, just how reactive this cloth is. Held that cue ball so easily with minimum effort.
6.
So 10 behind. That means he needs green to pink. If he can get white in behind the pink, he wouldn't need position on the black. So he could just feather it in. But the position would need to be very precise indeed.
Baize. 18.
He didn't like the look of this earlier on, Shaun Murphy. But this is frame ball. And he topples it in.
Shaun Murphy.
Shaun Murphy missed a few. He made a few mistakes. But in the end, he wins the opening frame. An error-strewn opening frame.
Thank you. The second frame. Zhang Anda to break.
Zhang Anda will not be pleased with the way he played in the first frame. Certainly not the fact he lost it. Especially when you consider that Murphy, as Zhang hits the blue, the old adage, whatever you do, don't hit the blue. Yeah, especially given the fact that in their previous head-to-head meetings, Murphy holds a 4-1 advantage, and he's won their last 3 encounters, including matches at the Masters and, most recently, in the quarter-final of the UK Championship this season. For Zhang's only win over Murphy, you have to go back to Latvia and the 2019 Riga Masters. Prevailed 4-3 from 3-2 down. That aside, Murphy has had his measure. Also 1-0 on the other table to Judd Trump. Took the opening frame, helped by a break of 61. A potentially expensive double kiss, so narrowly avoided.
1.
Shaun Murphy's cue action is ideally suited to that kind of shot. He delivers the cue so straight.
Eight. Nine.
When he won this Players' Championship in 2023, his scoring was out of this world. He made 11 centuries in his 4 matches, including 5 in the final when he beat Ali Carter 10-4. 145, 141, 130, 112, 103. Also made 4 centuries in the
16.
quarter-final whitewash of Ryan Day. 2 centuries in the semi-final against Kyron Wilson. And in the corresponding
17.
round to this, he beat Mark Selby 6-3. It was, overall, arguably, one of the greatest performances to win a ranking event ever. In terms of pure standard.
24. 24. 32. 33.
He's been no slouch in the break building department this season either, Murphy. Needs 2 more centuries to get to 50. And who's to say he won't make one here?
40. 41. 48. 49.
The maximum number of points scored off the
56.
first 7 reds.
$57. 64.
Well, the plant is there, but there's distance between the 2 balls involved. So now we think, looking around the table, that red in bulk, that's going to be the head scratcher.
$72. 73.
Well, it seems at the very least the frame is secured.
C.
Apart from that lone rogue red, everything's there.
81.
The red that's causing the problems, not in a dissimilar position on the table to the golden ball at the Riyadh Season Championship, where there's a king's ransom on offer for a 147 plus the golden ball. If he knocks in that red and gets on the black, that would be golden in itself.
'88. AC.
Murphy knows the territory. He's made
96.
10 147s in the past.
97.
Well, that's the first box tick, but he's got bigger fish to fry.
$105.
And at the very least, he's got a workable angle off the black. Anywhere but straight. Needs an angle.
112.
Not much of one, as you can tell from his expression. Gave the red every chance to go by playing it slowly, but now this black, if he knocks this in, this would be magical from the magician. Absolutely terrific, but the cue ball's done him no favours. Oh, what a shame, what a pot.
120.
Talk about cruel. In the end, the magician ran out of tricks. But what an effort. 15 reds, 15 blacks. Oh yes, and he leads 2-0.
Deferred frame. Shaun Murphy to break.
Before play began today, our Master of Ceremonies, Tahir Hajat, went out and spoke to the crowd as he normally does, and he basically predicted a 147. Well, at one point in that second frame, I was starting to think that Tahir knew his snooker. The 15th black that Murphy knocked in was simply amazing. What a shame he didn't drop on the yellow. So Tahir was nearly right, but there's still a chance for him to be fully right. Two very contrasting frames. The first Scrappy and Erastροon, the second almost perfect. Update from table one. Judd Trump made a 61 break in winning the first frame. He's just made a 69 to double his lead over Zhou Yulong at 2-0. Shaun Murphy is recognised quite correctly as one of the game's ultimate professionals. And there was a great display of professionalism from Zhang Anda last week. He got to the final of the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong, hopped on a plane straight away, arrived in Manchester at 8 o'clock in the morning, got in a taxi and drove to Leicester to play in the winners' group of the Championship League. He didn't do very well in that, but you can understand why, mitigating circumstances. But the fact he was there at all, I thought that was really good on his part. Couldn't see anything telling in terms of safety, so just playing the version of the dump shot. Limited Players' Championship experience for Zhang, but in 2024, right here in Telford, almost captured the title. He beat Nopont Sankam, John Higgins and Mark Selby before losing to Mark Allen in the final, only by 10 frames to 8. But we've seen no evidence of that spark yet. Did not want that full ball kiss on the yellow. Murphy resisting temptation, but he's got control of this tactical exchange and he might just double in a sneaky one. Now, caught it too thick for that, but look at this cue ball. The only issue for either player, should they get in, the blue and the black, tied up. I don't think Shaun Murphy will ever be renowned for his tactical play. But I tell you what, I've noticed over the last 5 or so years, it's definitely improving. When you can pot and cue like him, defensive play is just a means to an end, just to get in and overwhelm opponents. Stayed down there because he's a little worried about the cue ball. With every justification.
Zhang Anda 4.
That said, though, blue and black out of the equation. Pink partially obscured. Not exactly the most inviting table. Well, he tried desperately to make something happen there. And he could have cost himself some significant points. Okay, the balls remain far from ideally placed. But these guys are so good. They can work around a single high-value colour. In this case, it would be quite clearly the pink. With that red adjacent to the green, with the blue close to the side cushion, with the black near the top cushion. If Murphy can get 30-40 ahead, it would be a very valuable advantage.
8. Rumble.
Again, over-screwing to a degree.
12.
That's because this table is so responsive. We saw it from the get-go in match 1 yesterday.
Third C.
The pink going on the black spot could really help if he can drop on particularly one of these 3 reds and a crescent to the right of the pink.
Seventh C. Scene. Twenty-four. 25.
Working these nicely.
31. 32.
The one red he'd be disinclined to pot is the one that's covering the pink spot. And now quite happy that the second highest value colour on the table is readily
38.
available.
39. Brown ball.
Got through the cue ball so well there, just a little short of absolutely pinpoint position.
43.
But he's using the rest and normally very dependable when it comes to this implement.
$44. $50.
To make a half century where they were when he came to the table. Fine effort, but now he wants to kick on and make a frame-winning break. From little more than, not even half a chance.
$57.
So now the red that's helped him so much is going to be removed.
$58.
54 in front, so the pink would make that 60. He would need one more red. Hey presto, the magician strikes again.
$64. $65. $69. $70.
Given its obvious complexity, there's a case to say this is a better break than the 120 that caused so much excitement in frame 2. Excellently compiled this.
76. $77.
It seemed highly unlikely when he came to the table, but Murphy, can he possibly go on to make what would be his 50th century of the season?
$82.
Well, he played a really good cannon.
$88.
To no avail, though. Much like that spectacular black in the previous frame. Well, if he knocks in this, I think they'll need a new roof at the Telford International Centre. Not to be.
Well, Shaun Murphy 88, Zhang Anda 4.
What a break, though. A run of 88. It's not the highest of the tournament, but you might say it was one of the very best. So cleverly crafted. And Shaun Murphy is now halfway to victory. He leads Zhang Anda 3-0.
Thank you. Frame 4. Zhang Anda to break.
In China, this is known as the Year of the Horse. But in this tournament, 2 Chinese players already have fallen at the first hurdle. And another 2 this afternoon are in grave danger of doing exactly the same. We know about Zhang Anda's slow start to this match. Over on table 1, Jett Trump has taken a 3-0 lead over Zhou Yulong. Zhang has to get going and fast. Not the cleanest pot, but and it went off the far jaw. The way the season is configured, if Zhang were to lose this match, his hopes of being in the Tour Championship wouldn't be entirely extinguished. Still got the Welsh Open next week and the World Open in Yushan, China to play before we know the lineup for the Tour Championship. But defeat would be an obvious setback. And talking of setbacks, that was another wholly uncharacteristic mistake.
Zhang Anda 4.
Giving 4 points away will be mildly irritating for Shaun Murphy. Missing that red will be aggravating. Of course, Shaun Murphy's place in the Tour Championship is absolutely under lock and key, given that he's third in terms of points earned so far this season. But I'll tell you what, if he finishes off the campaign in fine style, maybe wins another title or two, he'd be in the conversation to be the player of the season. As Zhang again errs. Not just getting the cue ball glued in behind the green, but opening the reds at the same time. This has created a major issue for Zhang Anda. If the reds were all tightly packed, a much easier proposition. But look at them. Thanks to Murphy's forward thinking. The target is so wide that Zhang could hit these reds very easily indeed. That's not the task. It's to hit them and leave them safe. Using the spider, not ideal, because if you put on a little bit of unwanted side here, the escape route could be way off the mark. Yeah. There you go.
Shaun Murphy.
Murphy just stood up, had a look at the table, realised that he's got Zhang in absolutely maximum trouble. And although a red was on, Murphy believes with every justification he's going to get an easier ball to knock in. So now for Kevin Dabrowski and the marker Julian Bell, it's a case of teamwork as they put the brown back in its original position. Getting the cue ball back, that's a lot easier to remember. There's Julian.
Shaun.
Well, if he's dropped on this red and it's touching ball and Murphy can't get through to the one to the top right-hand pocket, that was miraculous. I think from Murphy's demeanour, though, he can get through.
What?
Well, after the difficulty of his break in the third frame, this should be like shelling peas.
11. 12. 19. 20.
What a nice feeling.
27.
Shaun Murphy, confident. And why shouldn't he be? His opponent clearly struggling. The scoreboard reading 3-0. But there's always bumps in the road, and that positional effort most certainly was.
Pink ball.
Yeah, would not have made contact with the brown had he potted the pink into the heart of the pocket. As it was, it just wriggled in off the jaws.
34.
Veteran move.
Shaun Murphy.
Not
34.
allowing the disappointment of surrendering position to affect his thought process. Basically, just took his time, accepted his punishment and played safe. By the way, the race to the interval, if there was one, has been won by Judd Trump. He now leads 4-0 against Zhou Yulong. The day for Zhang Anda goes from bad to worse. He so desperately needed this, did Zhang. It wasn't an easy pot that Murphy's missed. Zhang just needs quality table time.
One. Eight. Nine.
Again, Zhang far from optimally placed. His form of late has been excellent. Made a 147 against Barry Hawkins in the last 32 of the German Masters.
16.
Battled through to the final of the World Grand Prix, overcoming Mark Williams, Hawkins again, and Wu Yuze, then Zhou Yulong in a classic, 6-5 on the black. And there's still time to pull this match out of the fire. You get the feeling he needs to make the most of this visit to the table.
$24. Sure. $25.
In the middle of nowhere. A shot symptomatic of his day so far.
Brown ball. Zhang Anda, 25.
Four reds left, 3 points the difference. And what a difference this frame could make. Certainly to momentum as they go into the interval. If Murphy can win it, I would highly doubt that Zhang could come back. But from 3-1, he most certainly could. Not a million miles away there from turning over the red. He didn't do so though, and sometimes playing in simple containment is always the way forward. It's the only thing you can do. For all his brilliance when he's on, Zhang Anda is susceptible to the odd bad performance here and there. In fact, he's lost his opening match in 3 ranking events already this season. Saudi Arabia to Stuart Bingham. Xi'an Grand Prix to Farah Kajaib. Northern Ireland Open to Mark Davis. Is this going to be another away day visit? Nicely done from Murphy. The onus again on Zhang to try and keep things tight, which from here will not be easy. He's adopted a measured approach so far today, Murphy. Went for the shot to nothing, and it wasn't too bad, was it? Not too many candidates for this accolade, but that was undoubtedly Zhang's best shot of the contest thus far.
Foul. And a miss. Zhang Anda 5.
Zhang Anda does have a red on, but with the blue going safe. The black to the same pocket as the opening red unavailable. To no one's surprise, he's having the cue ball put back.
Shaun. Foul. And a miss. Zhang Anda 5.
Well, again, a miscall, but this time Zhang's more interested. Known as Mighty Mouse on the tour, not the tallest individual. So needs the extension on the back of the cue.
1.
So is Zhang going to finally get a frame on his side of the ledger? Really, from here, with a 14-point advantage already, he should do.
Six.
That said, if he takes the two open reds with blacks, he'd only be 35 ahead with 35 on, so the red close to the right-hand side cushion, that is going to be the crunch ball.
Set.
The good thing for Zhang, if he can drop in behind that red, he doesn't need any form of position.
40.
So by floating it down the side cushion, he would make the effective size of the pocket a little bigger than it might otherwise be. But surely he's left himself way too thin on this black. Try to hold it.
Zhang Anda.
But there's something in the mind when you're trying to do that that makes you undercut a ball in your desperate effort to hold the cue ball as best you can. So Murphy, 28 behind, but still very much in the frame. As Judd Trump and Zhou Yulong resume after their interval. Well, Murphy came very close to messing that up. Is there room for the red to squeeze past the black? Frame ball red, remember, for Zhang. And as the chaser, Murphy relieved that he didn't nudge the brown onto the side cushion also. Must be very, very tight, and with the cue ball so close to the side cushion, if it does go this red, it would take some knocking in. Well, that was just awful. Awful. We used the word error, mistakes. That was just a blunder. I'm sure Murphy can't quite believe his luck. And off the last red, any colour will do.
Set.
Not unlike the opening frame when the pink was very close to the right-hand middle pocket. The brown in a similar spot. But of course, dropping on the blue shouldn't be any issue.
Nine.
This kind of green is never easy. You see a lot of these missed. But Murphy is using the rest. Normally terrific. Well, terrific in terms of potting it.
12.
I thought he'd struck that really well.
Shaun Murphy, 12.
Again, indicative of just how unforgiving these pockets are. But at least the brown ran safe. Marathon frame this, coming up to 33 minutes in duration. Well, two things to say about that. One, a really good pot from Murphy from almost maximum distance. But again, Zhang was really loose to leave it. Murphy just tweaked a little bit aside onto the cue ball there. That's why it drifted under the cushion. What a pressure ball this is. Absolutely superb cueing.
50.
We've seen two tight, dramatic frames. We've seen two runaway frames involving big breaks. The sum and substance, Shaun Murphy goes to the interval with a 4-0 lead. Welcome back, everyone. Shaun Murphy in total command against Zhang Anda, leading 4-0 at the interval. Murphy needing 2 more frames to go through to play either Zhao Xintong or Elliot Slesser in the quarterfinals. As for table 1, that's almost done and dusted. Looks like Judd Trump is going to beat Zhou Yulong 6-0. Yeah, that's the burst of applause. Trump making breaks of 61, 69, 70, 63, 117 and 75 to complete a comprehensive whitewash. So Trump into the quarterfinals to play the winner of tonight's match here on table 2 between Mark Williams and Barry Hawkins. And to avoid a similar fate to Zhou Yulong, his fellow countryman, Zhang needs a radical improvement.
One.
Zhang's scoring has been non-existent in this match so far.
Sure.
Can he start to make amends here?
Nine.
An afternoon of one-sided snooker. Shaun Murphy in complete command in this match against Zhang Anda, although Anda is at the table with a rare scoring chance, and a good one too. the story of the contest so far. Well, Murphy won a scrappy opening frame by clearing last red to pink.
16.
Then in the second frame, great excitement. Knocked in 15 reds, 15 blacks. The 15th black was brilliant from distance, but he couldn't get on the yellow. So the 147 went out of the window. Next frame, Murphy made 88. Even though the balls were far from ideally placed. And then just before the interval, Murphy cleared brown to black to extend his lead. So this quality table time for Zhang has been really limited and much needed.
24.
He's seemed ill at ease right from the start. Missed a few balls in the first frame he wouldn't normally. His positional play hasn't been anywhere near as sharp as it often can be. His safety's been ineffective. But it's that old phrase again, isn't it? Intervals change matches, and Zhang desperately hoping that's the case here.
$31.
He's been in splendid form of late. Made a 147 at the German Masters, runner-up in the World Grand Prix. Today, though, simply no evidence of that form. And time is running out.
36.
The other thing I've noticed about Zhang, having commentated on him a lot lately, his pace of play is a little slower today. A lot more ponderous. Indecisive.
$37.
Never been renowned for his power, and that required plenty. Well, he went for it. 4-0 down, needing something to happen. And from here now, he really should win the frame. His first, and finally get involved in the match.
48. 49.
This frame resembling how he played here at this
56.
very venue 2 years ago when he was runner-up to Mark Allen, en route to the final, beating the likes of John Higgins and Mark Selby.
57. 62. 63.
So two tight frames. Looks like this is going to be the third clean frame. One in a single visit.
$65. 66.
Looks as though the possibility of across-the-board 6-0 whitewashes has been eliminated.
$71. 72.
'Don't think Zhang is a football fan, but he would love this match to be one of two distinct halves.
77. 78. 82. 83. 90.
Doubt cast on whether we're going to see a century. No century, but at least
90.
the real Zhang Anda has stepped forward. He's finally off the mark. Shaun Murphy, though, remains in control, leading 4-1.
Wait for you. Yeah. within now, so there will be a small break.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, good. Sorry, yeah. Here on table 2, joining Phil Yates in the commentary box for the conclusion of Shaun Murphy and Zhang Anda. Sorry, mate, I was on the director for some reason.
Frame 6. Zhang Anda to break.
The big guns have been firing at the Telford International Centre this afternoon. Judd Trump through without loss, 6-0 against Zhou Yulong. At least here, Zhang Anda has just put a frame on the board, but Shaun Murphy still sitting pretty at 4-1. So joining me in commentary for the remainder of this match is Stephen Horworth. And Stephen, yes, it's a story of Murphy playing really nicely for 2 frames, but more a story of Zhang so far being appreciably below par.
Yeah, that's a great long red that Shaun Murphy has found there. Yeah, it's the same sort of story over on table 1, Phil. Zhou Yulong, a number of very, very basic mistakes that at any level on the tour you just can't afford to make. You know, playing against the world
Shaun
number
Murphy.
1 is hard enough, never mind when you're gifting opportunities. And it seems to be the same story here on table 2. Zhang Anda, I suppose he's kept his hopes alive though with that previous frame, and he's avoided the whitewash. You never know. But Murphy looking particularly strong today.
Not the first time Zhang has been hard in behind the green with the reds at least partially spread.
You know, there was a shot earlier on table 1 that Judd Trump played himself, trying to tickle in behind the green. Missed it completely, landed short, and in the interval, Alan did a little piece up in the practice room on the demo table, showing all the ways to play that shot, which, you know, you don't think there's that many ways to actually roll in behind the green, but Alan did a great job of explaining some really good tips of nestling up in behind.
Yeah, as his nickname suggests, every angle covered.
Yeah, there really was, and actually, you know, every day's a school day, it seems, because I didn't even realise there was that many ways to tickle in behind a baulk colour.
In terms of their head-to-heads, Murphy's got a very good record, leading 4-1. Zhang's only win over him was 7 years ago at the Riga Masters in Latvia. 4-3 from 3-2 down. But when they've met on the big occasion, it's been Murphy all the way. A win at the Masters in 2024, quarter-final of the UK Championship, this season. 6-2 and 6-3. It's going a similar way, you would think, this time.
The trouble for anyone playing Shaun Murphy is he's got this huge presence around the table, and he's such a good front runner that it feels like it's a very tall order to stop that momentum. When he gets that stomp on around the table, he really does dictate. It's quite an intimidating presence. In some ways, it's particularly difficult to actually ignore him out there in the arena when you're sat in the opposite corner. That's the task that Zhang Anda has got.
He left.
Yeah, as a Murphy opponent, you can also fall into that rabbit hole of sitting there watching him at the table and just admiring, because technically he's magnificent. That wonderful pause at the back of the swing, and so authoritative through the cue ball.
Yeah, there are fewer better ball strikers on the professional tour than Shaun Murphy. He hits the ball like an absolute dream.
90.
He really does.
One of the reasons why, if he were to prevail this afternoon, which looks
27.
overwhelmingly likely, he would reach his 90th ranking event quarterfinal.
28.
Yeah, there's some big numbers flying about here this week, isn't there? And we saw John Higgins into his 155th, Judd Trump into his 107th, Selby into his 108th, was it? There's been the prolific winners for a long, long time, all doing well here in Telford.
35.
He did pretty well there, but I thought he might get a little more secondary zip out of the pack, which would have opened them even better.
$43.
13 ranking events so far this season, 13 different winners. Thought it was very illuminating before the match that he said, Murphy, that he thought that sequence was going to end this week, that we would have a double winner. Maybe it's going to be him.
Yeah, I think coming into the event, you could, I suppose, have made a case for every one of the 16 players here. They're here for a reason, because they are in form. But you do start to see, as these matches unfold, the cream rising to the top, and we saw that with Judd Trump earlier on today. Just a class above, really. Murphy showing us similar
50.
here.
$52. $58.
Murphy's break of 88 to win the third frame was brilliant.
59.
The blue was tied up, so was the black. Had just one high value colour to concentrate upon, which was the pink. He worked around that. He knocked in a couple of browns to keep the break going as well. And now he's turned this chance into a frame winner.
66. $67.
Of course, already had a century in this match. It was an incredible attempt, wasn't it? Phil on the maximum earlier. How about the penultimate black? What a pot that was.
70.
Yeah, could have been one of the all-time great pots, but the snooker gods decided he wasn't going to make a max. Have they decided he's not going to make a century here? It would be a milestone
81.
for Murphy. Would be his 50th of the campaign. I think he's okay. Maybe not. Wanted to tweak a little bit of side onto that.
Shaun Murphy, 81.
No century, but the Shaun Murphy bandwagon just rolls on. He's been a juggernaut this afternoon. He leads Zhang Anda 5-1. One more frame required for victory.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Telford International Centre, where
7.
Shaun Murphy is on
Shaun
the
Murphy
cusp of victory, leading 5-1 against Zhang Anda. It's not been a pleasing afternoon for the Chinese player. For Murphy, fully deserving of this commanding advantage. In China, it's the year of the horse, Stephen. But in this first round, they're all falling straight away. two defeated yesterday, Wu Yize and Zhou Guodong. Zhou Yulong beaten 6-0 earlier this afternoon by Judd Trump, and now Zhang Anda in deep trouble. And that shot just indicative of the way things have gone.
Well, he gets a little ripple of applause there. Maybe because the cue ball has landed okay, but I'm pretty sure that Shaun can chip this red into the middle pocket. Zhang Anda wanted it to be thin, but not that thin.
One.
Great to see so many in as well, enjoying the action here, and only going to get busier and better as the week progresses. And why wouldn't they come out in their numbers? We've got the best 16 players on form this season, all showcasing what they're capable of.
Green ball.
Shaun Murphy, ever the entertainer, producing the goods.
I think there have been two stages of this match. One where Murphy went into it feeling good about his game, and then the second one where he realised that his opponent wasn't feeling good.
5. Seven. Eight.
The red above and to the left of the black will be Shaun's target now. Get that out of play, which opens the black up completely. And the red beneath the main cluster of 6 is a perfect red to have.
Let's see.
Got options with it. You can land up low on it, bring more reds into play. Just got to commit to your decision. He's in absolute cruise control here, Shaun. Similar to what we saw of Judd Trump over on table 1. The pockets must seem like buckets to him at the minute.
There have been a little over 450 world ranking
Nice.
events in history. And when he won the Players' Championship at nearby Wolverhampton in 2023, few players have ever played to a higher standard throughout to lift a ranking trophy. He was simply brilliant. He made 11 centuries in 4 matches. John Higgins
20.
at Milton Keynes, he was outstanding also, but that was more about a tactical mastery. Murphy was unstoppable, potting reds from distance and then going on to build big breaks in the final. He beat Ali Carter 10-4 with 5 centuries, including a 145, a 141 and a 130. If he can replicate that form, I'll tell you what, he will take all the stopping.
But that's the word, isn't it? If he can replicate that form.
28.
It's exceptionally difficult to do that. You know, players, they do go through purple patches throughout their career. You mentioned one of Shaun's just then. Not easy to recreate that.
$35.
But the game he plays, Shaun Murphy, very open, very aggressive. He likes to get in amongst them. He can score very quickly. Pair that with that presence in the arena. He is capable of doing it to anyone. He has done it to everyone. And he's played that well.
36.
So he put his head down as though he couldn't pot it and then broke Zhang's heart by knocking it in.
Yeah, he played it well, to be fair. He had to just turn it over with a trace of left-hand side.
41.
Couldn't obviously do anything with the cue ball there. It was all about the pot on the red, and he'll be disappointed to have caught the green. He fancied it being a natural in and out of baulk, and now faced with this long red. But he just doesn't look like missing.
42. Black ball. Shaun Murphy, 42.
Played that one nicely. Maybe he was watching Alan's tutorial.
Well, that was more of a textbook way of rolling in behind a colour, just middle ball. I think that's what we all try to do. And sometimes with that shot you try and be too precise and get it almost touching ball, but very rarely you get that result, and the bottom line is you just want to cover the reds and hope that your opponent makes the mistake. It's unlikely you're going to get a good chance from it, especially when the pack is so tightly packed.
So recoveries from 5-0 down in a best of 11, they're a real rarity. 5-1, they occasionally crop up, but not very often. And it doesn't happen to Murphy. If Zhang were to win this match from here, it would be one of the most remarkable victories of his entire career.
Well, I just wonder if Shaun has just pushed this red onto right corner. He sort of trudged back to his corner there. Perhaps not.
Caught the bump of the middle pocket to leave really hampered queuing. I will say this about Murphy. He's not renowned for defence, but today he's been pretty decent in that department.
Oh, and I tell you what, he's had a right result there, Shaun. I'm pretty sure he played the cue ball in behind the green, slightly misjudged it, catching the knuckle. He may have been fearing the worst, but look at the outcome to finish on top of the green. This is about as awkward as it gets for a player. You'd rather be tight in behind the green because you feel obliged to go for this pot. Yeah, you're an absolute million for that sort of shot. You really are.
At least he's had a reasonable amount of fortune there. Had he left Murphy right in, that could have been the beginning of the end. this very healthy crowd, very knowledgeable crowd, trying to provide Zhang with some encouragement. They want to see more snooker.
Yeah, and Zhang may have anticipated that cue ball just trapping under the baulk cushion and just killing the speed of it off it. It's just travelled on, and 5-1 down. Even this sort of shot, the blue, doesn't look all that inviting. Should get it. That's a good pot.
Six.
Although he didn't quite complete the job at the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong recently, losing out to Zhao Xintong in the final, he did overcome the likes of Mark Williams, Barry Hawkins, Wu Yize and Shou Long to get there. But today has been one blunder after another.
Yeah, that was a...
Zhang Anda, 6.
Really was a horribly timed shot from Zhang Anda. OK, he's had all the extensions on the cue, quite a reach for somebody that isn't all that tall, but goodness me, that was a poor strike, it really was. What the players would often refer to as a deceleration. You're always going to miss that thin, and that's how he did miss it.
1. Sure.
Murphy sensing not the best of contacts, or indeed some debris on the cue ball, so getting the referee Kevin Dabrowski to clean it.
Now I just wonder if either of the two reds just north of the little cluster of 3 will pot to middle or corner pockets. If not, he's got the angle to disturb them.
Eight. Nine. Sixteen. Sets.
Not quite as one-sided as the action on table 1, but pretty close.
$24. Shaun Murphy, 24.
Well, Zhang continuing on, but it's a forlorn hope. 60 adrift. He needs 3 snookers.
Yeah, I'm sure every part of him just wants to offer his hand to Shaun Murphy. The sportsman within him just can't quite allow for that just yet. But I think he knows his fate.
One of the most poorly cued shots that Murphy's played all day, but don't think it's going to be too harmful.
Well, the red up by the yellow may offer an opportunity to firstly keep that red on the table and play snookers from it. keeping the red on the table is of high importance here because it allows for the possibility of a free ball. He'll take red, black now, get those points in the bank, and then set about his work on the final red. The position of the colours are not all that terrible for Zhang Anda. Yellow and pink, big target. Green as well is nice where it is.
At the recent World Grand Prix, Chris Wakelin needed 5 snookers in one frame against Zhao Zintong, and in the end only needed 1. So nothing's irretrievable.
In an ideal scenario, you want distance between cue ball and object ball. You also would like the red to be close to another colour. That way increases your chances of a free ball, potentially.
Number 16.
That's useful.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Shaun taking the 4, potentially 5 cushion route here. It's a good attempt, but I think he's a little wide. Well, he's a lot wide actually. So there's 1.
Well, removing the red takes away the possibility of an extra 8 points from a free ball, but now he's 32 behind. If he gets a snooker on the yellow that yields penalty points and a free ball, the extra 2 he'd get from that would be enough.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad decision really to pop the red because it was guaranteed that he could get the maximum amount of points from his colour in potting the black, so he's still in this frame. He played a particularly good snooker previously to get him behind the green, and you feel that if he is going to get the penalty points, they do need to be tough, and this might be another one, you know. Black's in the way coming down the table. Cue ball under the cushion, preventing the swerve. This is not straightforward.
Well, they're applauding, and you have to applaud Zhang's stubbornness. Almost defeated. Definitely deflated right now. But he's not waving the white flag. And the other plus point for Zhang, it's not as if a load of colours were under cushions. If he does get the necessary penalty points,
2.
Especially now, removing the green, which was the only awkward ball on the table. If he does get these penalties, the clearance would be there.
Yeah, he didn't really want to pop that yellow though, because the green is situated perfectly for a big target in behind it. So he's just slowly removing the chance of laying really good
Zhang Anda,
snookers.
2.
And worse yet, he's stuck this long green up for Shaun. Now, if this one hits the back of the leather, there will be a handshake.
Yeah, when that green went in, Zhang stood up to concede. I'm sure he will do now.
Shaun Murphy, 3.
Second thoughts. Any lingering doubt has now been removed. Murphy's through. What an exhibition shot that was.
Fifteen. Shaun Murphy, 15.
In terms of this Players' Championship, the magician has made Zhang Anda disappear. Zhang didn't go out with a bang, he went out with a whimper. Murphy in command all day. The final scoreline, the former world champion wins by 6 frames to 1.